are happening. Okay. We will see what happens.
That's awesome.
Click and go live there. Of course, I have to log in. What is happening, guys? Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Technical difficulties off the gate. This is how we roll. I love it. We're making it happen. And I have to scan a QR code now for some reason, but we'll get there. Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
So exciting. We are here to talk about the book that we've been talking about and then stop talking about, and now we're back because we're like ahead of the game now, making things happen. Fantasy adventures. Create your own adventures. It's sort of like a choose your own adventure book, but you get to create them. It's a new kind of kids book that doesn't have like a set storyline that you read every time, but it's settings to tell your stories together, inspirational like art and prompts and other things. Grown-ups, we got you. We got prompts on every for the pages. You're going to be fine, I promise. But I'm Chris Cummings, and this was a weird idea I had in my head, and then I contacted, I got to point the right way, there we go, Madeline, who is Madeline Illustrated, who has made the crazy idea actually reality, which is amazing. So I love it so much, and everything is really starting to come together, and we're having a blast with it. So I thought we would just like hang out today and check in on everybody, see what's going on. I'm trying to get all of my stuff up and running here.
Yeah, but I'm trying to double check while we're
So if
waiting.
people are talking to us, I'd love to
I love
talk.
it so much,
Oop,
and everything is really starting to come together.
that's not helpful.
We get an echo.
We don't need a second Chris. No one needs that.
Extra Chris's.
We don't need more Chris's.
More Chris's.
Why do I still hear it though?
I'm not hearing it on my end.
There, I got it. I solved it.
Excellent.
Heyo.
Hey, guys, and I'm
10
just
Rabid Bears hanging out on Twitch. What's up? I see you. One of our amazing TTRPG partners, and just cool people. We like hanging out with cool people. And yeah, so today we're just talking about our new kind of kids book that's gonna happen. It's real. If you want to see all the things and get all the updates, go to collaborativestory.books.com and put in your email, and you'll get all the updates. And as soon as you do it, you'll get an email from us with a free coloring page of the cover that Madeline helped create for us. Look, here it is. Woo. Woo. But you get to try your hand at coloring the cover as well as Madeline did.
yes.
Good luck. Something you should know is all of our art is hand done with color pencils by Madeline. It's so wild I have to point backwards from where it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remember that too.
You're good. Yeah, so I'm this way. Yeah, that. No,
Yeah.
other way. Other way.
That
Nope.
way.
Nope.
Oh,
Yep.
you are this way. Okay, that's where you're at on my screen, so that works.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, but it's so fun. Yeah, we just wanted to talk about where this came from, what it is, how it works, and see if anybody had questions on it. But yeah, so a new kind of kids book that doesn't have a set story, but settings to tell your stories together. Create your own adventure book. So we're really excited about that.
Yes.
Madeline, the art is incredible, and we're going to show some of it. But tell me, so like the front cover, what made you come up with these things? And I'll like change our settings so we can show people the front cover bigger.
So a lot of what we've come up with together. And we've brainstormed, you and I have brainstormed together different ideas. But a lot of my inspiration for, like, example, the front cover, what we needed is something that pulls you in, something that pulls you into a whole world and says, come outside, let's go adventure in this world. And so I thought a doorway would be a great way to do that. And we're doing a fantasy adventure, so a castle is even better. And I love medieval castles. I love good architecture. So there's no end to the image research that you can do on those kinds of structures. And so we did that. And I think we kind of came up together with the idea of the dragon and the sky and the shadow in underneath. Something that's vague enough that you can see, you can get the idea of what's going on, but you don't want to give, the goal with all of these landscapes is you don't want to give everything away. The goal is for the kids and the grown-ups and the parents to come together and make up these stories together. And so that's what we do. That's what I do.
I love it. Yeah, I think when we were chatting, I was like, look, I want to inspire you, but I also don't want to be like, here is the exact thing I need on all the things and just make that like that. That doesn't feel right with an artist.
Yeah.
So it was fun to like collaborate, but also be like, and go.
Yeah, and it's really great to be able to do that. You've been really fun to collaborate with. And with illustration, there's always that collaborative like element. We're always doing this together, and that's the fun part.
Yeah, 100%. I think you and I have chatted some. It's funny. When I'm working on big projects, if I don't have a buddy, those big projects may not come to fruition.
Which is
They always start, they just might not finish.
yeah,
So having a secondary person to, one, be accountable to, but two, to like continue to brainstorm with and be in the thick of it with, is so much fun. And you've been a blast to work with as well. So anybody who needs art, Madeline Illustrated, once she's done with our project.
yes. I am full up right now. I've got a couple of other small ones, but I am full up at the moment. This one comes first, and we're wrapping this one up soon.
It's so close. Yeah. So our hope is, if everything goes to plan, we will be able to have this published in your hands by July. We can't promise sooner, maybe sooner, but probably July.
I can't promise sooner, but for sure we are going to get this done in July. I'm so excited.
Yep. So if you want to keep updated on everything, go to the collaborativestorybooks.com. Type in your email and we will keep you updated, and you will also get a link to try your hand at coloring the cover with a free coloring page. That'll give you a little something to do while we're finishing up the book, and then we're really excited for everyone to see it. It's going to be so awesome.
So excited, which I hadn't noticed before. I love what you've done with the font on the coloring page too, that it's all colorable also.
Oh yeah, you got to color in the letters.
Yeah, that was Chris's design.
Yep. So we have, all of this came about because I have, well, they were toddler, now preschooler, I guess you would technically say, 4-ish. And loved telling stories, loved making up stories. Even when we were reading books that had things like a set storyline that you read, we would also sometimes just look at them and make up stories. And I have fallen deep into the Dungeons and Dragons world and the TTRPG space, as anyone could have guessed on here, and love the collaborative storytelling. My entire life has been based around like, how do you tell stories well together, how stories impact us more than almost anything else in our lives. If you really want to make an impact in something, or like actually engage someone in a way that they might actually learn and grow, stories are how you do that. So stories have always been exciting to me, but I was like, how do you make a book? Actually, the first question was, is there a book? Which I could not find. So there might be, but I couldn't find one. How do you make a book that doesn't have a story but inspires you to tell them? That's kind of where it came from. So I had the idea with my kid, and I was like, well, we can sort of just tell what we call dragon stories together, which we did, and went on adventures. And like his first adventure, we got stuck in a cave and the dragon was coming back, and I was like, how would you escape? We didn't have mechanics and stuff. We were just like, how would you escape? And he said, well, I pull a bulldozer out of my pocket and I make a hole in the cave and I get out. And I was like, honestly, fair. That's a great idea. That would work. And as a toddler, he usually had a bulldozer in his pocket. So it actually was like a legit, like real thing he would have. So we just started telling stories together, and then I was like, it'd be really fun if we had settings to tell them. So like we have the library. Ooh, yeah, we can show them. Hang on. We have the library that is full of mystery and creatures and books and symbols and all sorts of things and cool light. That there's a lot of possibilities. So we actually, when you first engage this book, we kind of start you there, but there's no rules to how you engage this book. You can pick up at any point. There'll be 15 full spreads of art, like 2 pages wide of art, that you get to like tell stories from, that you get to use as backgrounds and settings and inspirations. And then grown-ups, we know that could be scary to come up with. Well, how do we start a story? So we'll have story prompts for you too. Don't worry, we got you covered. But the goal is just to have fun telling stories together. There's something about storytelling that really like impacts your brain in different ways. I've watched my son work on like story recall and like remembering what happened last time and how do we pick up and what did we learn, and problem solving and remembering names and like empathy and like engagement and listening and then responding, and like he's grown in life because of this. So just the book part is like a bonus.
Which is awesome. Well, and it's also really cool. One of the early important stages of literacy, of early literacy, is just the process of picking up a book and pretending like you're reading. And I know this is something my stepdaughter did when they were little. It's something my nephew has done in the past few years, where he's just picked up a book and they go through. If you've ever been around a toddler, you know, they go through and they go, and then they look at the pictures and they go, and then they did this and this happened and this happened, and they pretend that they're reading. They think they're reading. It's kind of that starting point for reading. And so this is a book that is entirely that. It is entirely that pre-literacy stage that is such an important stage for little bitty kids when you're wanting to encourage them to be readers.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I've loved all of it, and I've loved just us creating it together and like getting to dream of like, well, what settings should we have? Because we were like, we got to start with like classic fantasy. That just feels like the perfect crossover. It's how we started, like in my family, in the story settings we were telling. So we're like, what are some of those classic things? And so like we have like a magic shop. There we go. That has all sorts of fun things in it. It has all sorts of magic items. It has magical art, perhaps. It has creatures hiding and scoping out. You can even see one in this art here. And then as we were telling our story using this inspiration, because I've been like seeing how it works with my kid, we decided that the door to the magic shop is also magical, and every time you open it, it opens to a different location. So the only way to get around that is to open, shut, open, shut, open, shut till you get to the right one, or learn the knocks that get you to the right place. So we kind of were like, well, maybe you do the George of the Jungle knock and it opens to the jungle or the forest, and that's kind of how you get there and things
I
like
love that.
And then recently in our nighttime stories, we came back here, and he helped somebody get through the door to somewhere else, and then he shut the door behind him, and then realized when you shut the door behind him and you're not in the magic shop, the door is gone.
Oh no! There's no more door.
I don't know. So then we had to adventure our way back. It was fun. We're having a blast.
Well, it's that problem solving, that imaginative play, and it's something that can age up too. Like there's no age limit on it. We've talked a lot about younger kids because you've got a younger kid right now, and because that's where you start with picture books, but this is something that can age up. I remember being 9, 10, 11 and playing with like magnetic paper dolls and making up those kinds of stories where I think we've played with, I don't know if you've ever played with story dice.
Yes.
But we love story dice. We've loved story dice here too, and that ages up. There's these kind of imaginative play and this kind of free play. It ages up.
Yeah. And I think that's the goal, right? Is how do we do this in a way that like anyone could technically do this? I was talking to someone today and they said that their kid has dyslexia. And so reading is hard, and you are made to think that you are not smart enough to read or all those things. And it's not that at all. And I was like, well, what if you had a book that you got to make up the words?
Yeah.
That's easier.
No words. but you still engage in that structure, the structure of story,
Yes.
which is important too.
Yeah, 100% that. And so we're just really excited about it. Um, we're working on all sorts of things, including, let's see, do I have them? I do have them. Let's see how they show up. Yep. Ooh, this way. We have character art that Madeline has worked on. How close can I get? And it still works. Ooh, pretty good.
Okay.
And so these will be punch out characters that you can get as well to like use as like little paper cutout characters in your stories. So you can have fun with that too. Obviously, you can create your own. My kid has seen me 3D print minis for our D&D game, and so he has now created a character who we will introduce now. This is Atlas.
Oh, I love him.
He wanted him. You can see he was like, he's so strong he can walk on fire. So that's what the mini's doing.
No resistance. Nice.
So he just wanted to be a big beefy dude, and I was like, all right.
Well, and as we're talking about aging up and like D&D minis, you can totally run little campaigns on this. You can
Yes.
do your dice and go through the motions of the role playing and battles and whatever with these backdrops. That is something that can age up into eventually doing full little one-shot D&D campaigns with your kids.
100% that. And that's the thing, right? Is like, it's limitless. It could be
Yeah.
anything. You could technically use these as backdrops for your D&D campaigns. Be like, here's the library you enter. Here's, let's show another one. Ooh, the graveyard we're currently in.
Yes.
So in our story at night, we've been exploring the graveyard that has all sorts of interesting things, including three-eyed birds with all sorts of interesting things in their nest. All of the gravestones, Madeline had this great idea that they would all be, what's it called when it's like scrambled up letters to make other words?
Anagrams? Are they called
Yeah.
anagrams? Yes.
So she had this idea, and so all of the gravestones are actually anagrams of something else.
Well, and that's part of kind of the ongoing thing that we've been doing with this book, which is I also made up a set of symbols that are scattered throughout the book, things that you can connect to each other and maybe think past just page by page as you're making these stories. And as I was thinking about the graveyard, I was so stumped on what to put on the gravestones because you don't want it to be scary. You don't want it to be like names that people know. It's not, you don't want something that's going to spook kids right before they go to bed. That's not what you want. But anagrams seemed like such a fun thing to do there. It's something else to decode. It's something that the grown-ups reading through and help walking through can notice.
Mm-hmm.
It's puzzles, something to puzzle through.
Yeah, I think it's genius, and like we're having fun. Like we've been exploring this for a while now. What's up, Bearded Bard? I see you on TikTok, and we've got 10 Rabid Bears. We've got Grimbeard. We got all sorts of friends hanging out. This is fun.
Guys,
Yeah, so this is our new kind of kids book. It's a collaborative storybooks, fantasy adventures, create your own adventures kids book, where we provide settings and inspiration and story prompts so that you guys get to create your stories together and come up with whatever adventure you want to do. Which is so much fun, and we're having a blast doing it. And what I was saying is we've been in the graveyard setting with my kid gets to preview all the art. And he's loving it. And
you're running it. This is part of any production. You have to have the
you
test.
got to test market it.
Yeah, it's the test market. And he's right in that market range. We're perfect.
100%. So we've been exploring. He wanted to talk to the birds, and so I decided that all the birds could respond with was 1 or 2 words. That's it. So they couldn't respond with sentences. So it became a fun puzzle of how to get information out of them, but with 1 or 2 words at a time, which was really, really fun. And then the orb that you can see on the page now, held in like the bird's claw, they walked over to that and they saw essentially a paladin stuck in it, saying help. And so he decided he was immediately going to let him out. And my wife plays with us. She's like a little fairy character, so like all the 3 of us get to tell stories at night together.
Yeah.
And she was like, wait, we should ask questions first.
Before we're like, yeah, come on out.
And me as the DM was like, why? Why would you do that? So they started asking questions, and they got some like shady answers, but they were like on the line of like, we don't know. And so it was really funny. So he finally decided we're going to let him out. So he let him out. The guy gets out, looks at him, and then just walks off. And he's like, what? And I was like, I mean, you'll probably meet him again at some point.
Yeah, who knows?
But that was his first learning some like, well, we can do consequences. We can learn like how much we trust and don't trust. We can like figure, and it was really interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows where that guy will show back up.
Uh-huh.
But it's so fun. And then we really enjoyed the ocean one. All of these I'm showing are like part of it. There's like massive amount of art for each page. Hang on, let me show you. In this one, I should have done one that was like a full set of. Anyway, so in my sample book, look at how much art there is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see all the art. So much art. Anyway, just so many things you could see and find. But in this one, he really loved the mermaid tails because you just showed the tail part.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a fish, maybe it's a mermaid. We don't know. They found a key on one side of the page to like unlock the treasure chest and figure out some things. So there's stuff is hiding everywhere, which is
Well, and we have to have treasure chests because that's just a staple of D&D.
if you don't, what are you doing?
You have to have a treasure chest that you try to convince to open with your voice for some reason.
Yep. I was trying to think. Oh, another one we've done recently is the wishing well.
Yes.
Which is the colors on the wishing well are insane. I'm still not sure how you pull this off with color pencil, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But with the well, you put a face in it, and he found the face, and so the well started talking to him.
Yay.
And so they each got to make a wish in the well, and as soon as they both made a wish, the well disappeared.
Ooh.
So there's things like that you can just have a reoccurring well that appears randomly wherever you are. Just little prompts like that we'll have in the book just to help people. What do we do? How do we do this? And it's like, your kid will be great at this. We'll help you kind of get started to remember how to do this.
Oh, yeah. Well, because if you're not doing improv regularly or you're not doing Dungeons and Dragons super regularly, or even if you are, kind of hard to yes and sometimes it's hard to yes and your kid. You forget how to do it.
Yeah. That's, I mean, yes. That,
Yeah.
Yes.
And.
Yes,
Yes,
and.
You forget how to engage in that kind of play.
Yeah. No, it is, and it's like, why did we lose that? And I think a lot of times we're just kind of taught, well, it's an A-B thing, or like, here's the answer, give it back, and it's like, yeah, stories don't really work that way.
Nope. A lot of life doesn't really work that way.
No, life does definitely not work that way.
No.
But stories don't either. And it's just so fun to like offer this opportunity of like, let's try something different. Let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
Which is so fun. We're loving it. It's great. Okay. Which one does we'll stay on the wishing well for a bit.
Yeah.
How do you get colors like this that like fade well, that the light actually like looks like light? Because I'm not sure how you do that.
So a lot of it involves, and unfortunately a large chunk of my process involves very stressed out staring at the canvas, trying to figure out how it's going to work, which is terrible because that's not a billable hour. I can't say I spent this many hours on it while I'm staring at it. But it's about planning out in your head where the light is going. And a lot of times that's not too complicated. It's a lot less complicated than it can feel. A lot of times you pick a light source and you figure out where the shadows are going to go, and it's something you get better at the more you do. It's something I've gotten better at the more I do. It's also not necessary that it has to look super realistic, and that I think is somewhere where a lot of artists get hung up, is that it has to be like perfect lighting wise. But as long as it looks good, nobody knows if the light source is great. This is, you figure it out as you go. So for example, with like the wishing well, I've got that sun in the background, and that's my main source of light. But I also have that rainbow coming through, and so I spent a lot of time thinking about and planning out where the light from the sun is going to hit. And then for like the rainbow, um, I planned out the rainbow, had it ready to go, and then I just colored the rainbow colors on top of where the rainbow is. So it looks transparent. It looks like it's being colored by that rainbow. And that was the goal. The rainbow is actually the easiest part to color because it's just those flat colors with the little bit of detail in. I've got about 4 colored pencils for each layer that I did to make sure I got the shading and everything looked like it was still behind it, like you could still feel it. But preparing for that, getting involved, getting the rest of everything colored, getting everything else colored made the rainbow easy.
Yeah. I am just constantly in awe of how you do that. And like you dabble in color pencils, you're not listening. Um, the other, what was it? Was it the graveyard that's the snow?
Yes,
Okay, so the snowflakes. Are they just a spot that you didn't color?
they were a spot I didn't color, and then I went over them digitally because they still had. So when you use colored pencil, you get some of that powder that kind of goes all over, and there's only so much of it you can erase. And so I went over them digitally. And there's something I'm still fiddling with a little. Like I may change those just a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm super happy with how crisp they are or if they look out of place. Uh,
I think they're awesome.
I'm very excited for them. Oh, they're going to stay there. I just this is part of the art process too. As you look back and you go, am I going to fiddle with that a little? And with colored pencil work on the page, once it's done, and once I've sprayed it, because I everything that I color, I do a matte finish on top of. But so it doesn't, the powder doesn't come up, it doesn't fade, it stays put. Uh, so once that's done, it's done. Once that matte finish is on top of it, it's done. It's not going anywhere. But there's always a little bit of digital touch up that I do. Not very much, but just a little, enough to make any little mistakes or things go away.
Yeah. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm constantly like, I don't know how you're doing this, but I'm glad you are because
I am too.
me trying to do this, it would be a very different kind of book.
Well, and this is kind of, I think I've told you this before, this is kind of a dream book. I get to do these huge, colorful, crazy fantasy landscapes with a lot of freedom. And that's really a joy as a kind of newer illustrator to get to be able to do.
Yeah. No, I mean, it just worked out. I'm so glad it worked out,
Me too.
and that it's been a lot of fun. It's also been fun that you and I have gotten to meet in person a few times because we were both
Yes.
in the same state of Tennessee, for whatever that means.
Yep.
But here we are, and we can find joy in meeting up and just kind of collaborating and hanging out. And you got to give one of your coloring pages to my son, which he loved. So much fun.
Yeah.
And just having a blast, which was so great.
Well, and it was so great to meet him. It's great that our families have gotten to meet and we've gotten to hang out a little bit because we're not super far from each other. I mean, but it takes, it's, I've definitely done projects with people farther away
Yeah.
for sure. So it's great to be able to say we've met in person and we're collaborating on this, and we'll meet in person some more hopefully this summer as we're
Oh yeah, I think
promoting
so.
our book.
I
And
think so. It's just such a dream project. I think if I had not found you and partnered and all those things, I probably, it just would have been an idea in my head. So I'm
yeah,
so glad it's becoming a reality. You're crushing it on the art, and we're just having so much fun. For those jumping in and out, this is a new kind of kids book, collaborative storybooks, fantasy adventures. Create your own adventures, sort of like a choose your own adventure book, except for you guys get to create them using inspirational settings in the story in the book.
It's a little more open ended.
We have very open ended. There's not like a book that you read. You get to tell stories together, and within that, you also have story prompts for the adults. So don't feel like we're leaving you out there. Good luck. No, we got you. That was the one thing I heard from friends that are not like into the D&D TTRPG space. They were like, "How do I make up a story?" It's like, one, your kid's going to be great at it.
Oh yeah.
Two, let's throw some prompts in there so you feel more comfortable. And immediately they were like, "That's great, perfect." So that's what we're doing. It's great. So I'm using some of the like story prompts that come up as we try this out in my family, and those are making it in the book, and it's a lot of fun. We're having a blast. So,
Well, again, you're going to test run it.
test run. Well, and in the end, like part of this book is to have this book for us, so it definitely makes sense, which is so much fun. But we're so excited that this will be coming out. So if you want to keep up to date, follow us on socials, but also go to collaborativestorybooks.com, add your email. You will get a free coloring page of the front cover so that you can try your hand at coloring it. And we'll keep you up to date when it publishes. What we think is happening is it's going to be published in July. So you'll have them in your hand by July, which is our goal, which we're super, super pumped about, and it's going to be great. But we're just hanging out. I'm Chris with TTRPG Swag. This is Madeline with Madeline Illustrated. The idea person? We've talked about this. I don't know if author is the right.
Author works. Author's, I think, the easiest thing to do. You're doing all of the writing.
That's true. There is some writing. It's just not the same. Yeah.
You're the author and owner of Collaborative Storybooks. That is.
The story prompter.
You're the story master.
Ooh, that sounds cool. That's a new name for like Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
I like that. It works. It totally works. Anyway, so Madeline and I met on, I guess, TikTok.
Yeah.
And met through a mutual friend on a project which is Unlife is Good, which is a parody of Life is Good, but with all undead creatures. You should check that out because some really, really fun art and apparel from Madeline. Undead creatures in the style of Life is Good, and it's very funny.
It's a lot. That was a lot of fun. That was such a fun project.
Yep. So you got a skeleton bench pressing its legs, saying "Never skip leg day," things like that. Yeah. A night walker, always get your steps in.
A vampire on the beach.
Normal things. But that's a really fun project. But that's how we connected. And I said, I think literally on the first call, I was like, "Hey, if you're willing to stay on for like 5 more minutes, I have an idea." And that's where this book was born. And so a lot of back and forth, a lot of collaboration, and it's just been so much fun to see it come together. I want to show off more of the art. Have we done them? We haven't done the mountaintop yet. Oh yeah.
Ooh, not yet. I like the mountaintop.
So we have a mountaintop view with a massive nest. And you know it's massive because the sword and shield are tiny. Or maybe the sword and shield are tiny and it's a normal size nest and it's tiny creatures.
That could be fun too.
There's no rules. You can do whatever you want.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's amazing. So one of the questions I have for you is, each of the pages sort of has almost like a color theme. How do you choose that? Because like that isn't, we haven't necessarily decided that together. That's been you running with it.
It's a combination of things. I have a running Pinterest board that is just a collection of color palettes. But one of the things I started doing about a year ago was limiting color palettes in a lot of my work. And so a lot of what's happening in this book is stuff that's happening in my personal work too. I'm pulling bits and pieces in the magic shop, those cats that we had, the little cats with antlers that you can see throughout the magic shop. I was working on a project that was all cat illustrations, and I was like, well, I'm going to draw a few more cats. I'm drawing them anyway. And so that became part of it. But that kind of limited color palette has been very helpful for me. It makes it feel less overwhelming. Like there's a lot that I can do with it. There's a lot I can do in terms of shading and shadows and that kind of depth that that I work to give it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it just depends. I think about the color palette that I used on the last spread. I think about trying not to repeat too many of the same. So like for the graveyard, I did kind of that lavendery feel. Like there's purple just permeating the whole graveyard. It's all purple and gray. And that was because I looked at the rest of the spreads and went, I haven't done a lot of purple.
Mm-hmm.
Time for purple. And so I put that in for the mountaintop. I thought it would be really cool. I've seen those. I saw pictures of like those rock formations that have all of the cool swirls, and I was like, oh, that would be really neat. Let's do that. Give that a try.
That. And I mean, it's amazing. And there's something about, and I know this as a creative as well, the constraint that you put on yourself almost is more helpful, is a weird thing. It's a book right above me, A Beautiful Constraint, and it talks all about that.
Yeah.
Creativity almost needs parameters to flourish, because like wide open doesn't quite work as well as you would hope.
It gets really scary looking at a blank page if you don't have any direction. And sometimes a color palette is a direction.
Yeah.
You need.
Yeah. No, I think it's super smart. And it's just been really fun to like, you'll be like, all right, here's a sketch. And I was like, cool, that looks awesome. And then you're like, and here's a beginning of the coloring. And I was like, whoa, that is next level, which is just so fun. Okay, castle page.
Yay.
This is one that my kid has loved.
I'm so glad. I loved making the castle. It was so much fun.
So we went for night theme, which was fun, and all sorts of glowing creatures and items and plants and other things. Have I told you the water creature, which we can't actually see with how I crop this, the big water monster that you have in the moat? Have I told you how we treated that in our story?
No, not yet.
So he was a little nervous about talking to it because it was scary, right?
Yeah.
So as I was like, as it approaches, and he's like, oh no. Like, it gets out of the water, shakes off like a dog, and is now the size of a tiny lizard.
He's little.
So I was like, those little like bath things we used to get that when you put them in the bath, they would like blow up in size.
Yeah.
It does that back and forth. So if it's in water, he's huge, and if he's out of water, he's tiny.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
So
That's awesome.
we need to name him, but it's really fun.
I went for very classic with that spread. I'm like, I want an alligator in the moat. I want just a very classic castle. I want this to feel like old school fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was so much fun. I definitely came off of that one feeling much more confident too.
Yeah.
I haven't drawn a ton of buildings. That is not what I draw a lot of yet. But getting that castle done really inspired me to want to do more of that.
It's so good. Like, it is just amazing, and we've had a blast with it. And there's, like I said, all the spreads that we're showing, this is just part of it. There's like giant art for each one. Speaking of giant art, how big is the sheet of paper you use when you make one of these?
It is. I have it written down so I remember how much to cut it. So I've got a giant paper roll that I cut off the pages of,
Oh, okay.
so I don't have to buy like a big, huge stack. And I haven't hit the end of it yet. So I bought one. I have not hit the end of it. It is 14 inches by 34 inches is the size of the thing. So it's like
That's so big.
there, like it's like this long, and then about a little over a foot tall. So it's a little over that big.
Good grief.
And that's so I can get all those details in,
Yeah.
and it's easier, larger, and then it shrinks down and looks really pretty.
It does. No, it's amazing that like when you get it all like scanned in, so we can like run it through the publisher and stuff, how well it turns out.
And I have to scan it in chunks. I have a little Epson scanner,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's an amazing scanner. I love it, but it's small because large scanners are expensive. Like I don't know any personal artist who's just themselves freelancing that has a large scanner. They're just not feasible. So I scan it in chunks, and then I automate merge, and it merges, and that's what I do. It's easy peasy.
It's impressive. I don't know how you do it, but I love it. And it turns out so well, which is what's really fun too. So, I'm trying to think what else we've chatted about that we need to let people in on. So we're gonna have the book. You can go now to collaborativestorybooks.com, type in your email to get on the update list. We're not going to spam you. You're just going to get updates on the publishing of the book. So we're doing that now. You'll get a free coloring page of the front cover that you see now. And then in, a month-ish, not even, we're going to do pre-orders once we really know like when it's coming out. And then hopefully in July, go time.
Yeah, that's the goal. I'm trucking away on a few extra on the rest of the spreads and over the next couple of months. I'm working on a farm right now, and then my next one is going to be the Witch's Hut, which I had an idea. I had another epiphany. We're gonna do. I think I'm gonna do fairy lights, but they're gonna be like little wings.
Fairy lights.
Fairy lights. They're going to be fairy lights. I thought of that like in the middle of the night the other night, and I was like, and I was like, I can't text Chris. It's too late in the evening. 1 a.m. And I was like, fairy lights.
I mean, but fun.
Well, and then I get to do the little glowy thing, so it's that I like to do.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
Fairy lights.
Yeah, it's either that or like lightning bugs, and you like somehow have trapped them all or something. But like, I like fairy lights.
I mean, I can do a jar of those too.
That could be the front door light.
Oh yes, that's awesome. Yep, I'm doing that.
Something like that. Are we inside? I was trying to remember. Is the witch's hut? Are we inside or outside the witch's hut?
Inside.
Inside. Okay. Yeah. So it could be like the top lamp something or yeah.
Oh yeah, like the big lamp.
It's just a big lamp of like bugs.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've ever seen those like antique huge glass lamps that kind of orb like this. You could do one like that with the lightning bugs in it.
That, but like crossed with like a giant mason jar.
Yes.
Somehow attached to it.
Something on top, like a cool lid on top. Yes. That would be so cool. Well, and I'm going to have like a kettle. There's going to be all sorts of like little things. Something's going to be cooking on the stove. Little things that are.
Something weird.
Yeah, something weird. There could be a leg or an eyeball sticking out. It'll be fine.
I mean, maybe. It's so funny, like when I've talked to this about it, and people are like, so you're going to have like a dungeon and a graveyard and a kid's book? I was like, yeah, kids actually are fine with all of this.
Well, and you can, like you were talking about with your son, you can approach some of the things that they're a little scared of in a safe way. And of course, we're working to make sure it's not too scary. I think anybody who's been watching or who's looking at the art can see it's not scary.
No.
We're working to make sure that we find a good balance. But kids can handle some spooky stuff. And I think it's actually important that they do in media.
Yes.
In the books that they read and the shows that they watch, something that's a little scary or a little more mature, like a graveyard, is something that you can explore. And we've we are finding a balance with that. We've talked about that with the dungeon. Like maybe we don't want to do jail cells in the dungeon. That might be just
Right.
a little far. Or we're not going to have a tavern in our book because it's a tavern and maybe the bar is not the best place for the kids to go exploring.
And that's why we have a library,
Yes.
which is where kids go exploring.
hmm
So instead of starting in a tavern, we're starting in a library.
Yeah, because the tavern is the default that you start in for most Dungeons and Dragons campaigns, or for a lot of them. But like we discussed, it's not quite the direction we want to go. We don't want the toddlers like, oh yeah, let's get some beers and some ales going.
Yeah, probably not.
There's a balance.
Yeah. But I mean, even with the graveyard, it's brought in some interesting conversations. So like, in the past year, I lost my grandmother.
Yeah.
She was 95, so had an incredible life, and he got to like be with her and like go to the funeral and all those things. But then, so she was cremated and
Yeah.
put in a columbarium, and so he'd seen that. And so when he saw the graveyard scene, he asked other questions of like, so what is this? And so we got to talk about different ways after death and all the, and so actually just created great conversation. He wasn't weird about it at all. He thought it was really interesting. And then he wanted to know why the birds had 3 eyes.
Yeah. And that's because I felt like it.
It's so fun to just be like, let's take something normal and make it just a little weird.
Just a little wonky.
Let's have a cat in a store. That makes sense, but it's going to have horns.
Yep. Oh, antlers are my go-to. I'm like, this is antlers here. We've got the jackalopes with the wishing well, which I decided with the jackalopes. I don't know if you noticed the coloration difference, but the littler ones are like a lighter pink,
I didn't notice that.
and then the older ones are purple. Like they get darker the bigger they are, which is what animals do.
Oh my
They
gosh.
start off, a lot of times they start off with a different coloration when they're littler, and so I thought that would be fun.
You are getting a request from a Dr. Blakely
Oh hey!
to show the farm.
Oh, okay. Well, it's in progress. So come with me today. We're working on it.
Oh.
And it's gonna be. You don't mind all the books that keep my paper flat, because like I said, it comes in a big roll, so I have to flatten it out.
That's so cool.
I'm so excited. It's coming along. I am trucking on it this weekend. I'm really excited about the giant vegetables. They
Yeah.
are really fun. And they're really fun to color. They're just very basic shapes. And so it's like, oh, we're just going to do the coloration. Very fun coloring. But I got a cat in there too with the little antlers. We get a barn cat and some cockatrices, which are a fun fantasy critter.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I love it all so much. I just the creativity and the like silliness, but also the open-endedness of like every page has 100 things you could poke at,
And that's
the goal.
thing. Yeah. Well, and you've helped with a lot of that. Like when we were talking about the anagrams, I reached out to you and was like, hey, I'm terrible at making up anagrams. Help!
I think I immediately was like, here's one, here's one, here's one. I love this one. What if we did this one?
Yeah, it took me an hour to come up with, I think, what took you like 10 minutes to just send my way. You were like, here we go.
Sorry, I got excited.
No, it was great. It was amazing. I was like, oh, thank goodness. Because I come up with like 10 and I was like, I'm done. I don't know how to do this.
But it was such a good idea. I was just like, yes, I can immediately see what this is, and let's do it and make it happen. And it was so fun. And like that's the fun part, right? It's like, all right, well, what about this? How do we handle this? What do we do? Like with the dungeon, with the sketches, I was like, okay, I like the perspective we're doing, but I think instead of bars, let's do open-ended doors, and maybe each door leads to something different, a different environment, a different something, and then you're gonna run with that. And like, it's so fun to just be like, go, whatever your mind thinks of.
Yeah, well, we talked about, little tails popping out,
Yes.
which we have all over the place. I like doing that too because then you get to imagine the monster. I like having some critters throughout, but having monsters that you imagine are really fun too.
Yeah. Yeah, when you just see a tail, you're like, wait, what is that attached to?
Hmm.
What could that be? And like the nest one, I'll pull that one back up. Oh, you can't see it though. There's a shadow of a winged creature,
Yeah.
but you don't know what it is. So in our story, I basically made it a rock, just a giant bird named Rocky that he got to meet and talk to.
Love that.
So that was fun. So just really cool things.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast. I'm so excited. It's almost real. So for anyone who's joining us now, it is Fantasy Adventures. Create your own adventures together. So go to collaborativestorybooks.com. You can put your email in there to get all the updates on when this is going live and published. You will also get a free coloring page of the home cover of the cover to see how you can do at this. Madeline uses colored pencils. Good luck. she's real good at it. But have fun. If you do color it, we'd love to see it. Like tag us because that would be so much fun.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah, and like print it out for your little ones if you got kiddos. I think that would be amazing too. And when we get to the pre-order phase, when you pre-order, you'll actually get like a whole section of coloring pages that we're gonna send you as part of purchasing a pre-order. Thank you, because like that's fun. If we're gonna do like really beautiful art, let's let you guys try it too, which is really cool as well.
Well, and all of the spreads are going to come with coloring pages. All of them are going to have matching coloring pages that you can, I think, purchase as an extra goodie. If you don't get the pre-order, you can purchase it as an extra goodie.
Yeah, if you pre-order, you get it. If
Yep.
you don't, you can get it as well.
Well, and we're doing pre-orders soon, right?
Pre-orders is real soon. We just have to decide that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's real soon.
It's real soon.
And I'm in talks with our printer and getting all the final details on that and all the specs and all the things. We have a sample book, ta-da, that we
Yay.
tried out just to kind of have an idea of what it would look like, how big it is, all those things. It's super big, but not like crazy big, and like would fit on a shelf great. The art is incredible, and like you can get an idea of how big that spread is. And that's just the library. We have 15 spreads like that, all different things. It's so much fun. And we're like getting close to wrapping all those up and getting it live. And we're working on all the story prompts and all the little extras to help families and grown-ups feel comfortable leading stories with their kids. The kids are going to do this naturally. I think a lot of us have to remember how to do it and just get comfortable with just kind of going along with it, making it up, being silly. It also has allowed me to have like really important conversations with my kid, like the graveyard and the other things, just naturally, because stories just kind of bring up things. So it's been awesome, and like I can't wait to like unleash this in the world and see what happens. Oh, Madeline, this has been amazing. Is there anything else we needed to say that we haven't said?
I can't think of anything. I'm just really excited. This has been a really great project, and I know you've said like, oh, if it weren't for you, it would still just be an idea, but you've kept on track with this too. Like this has been just such a joy to pursue together, like to create together. Your collaboration has really helped all of this come to life.
Well, team effort.
Yes.
And I'm so glad we're together on this journey, and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I think if anything else, we've had a lot of fun, and we're gonna have a really cool book
And
tell some amazing stories.
And you can look for us this summer. We're hopefully going to do some book touring stuff. Nothing too fancy, but
But if you got a place we should go, let us know.
yes, let us know if you know anywhere you think we should be and do a story time.
And if anyone is connected to a con of any kind
Yes.
that would like to have a kids' time with some coloring pages, some story time, kids' book stuff, let us know.
Yes, please do. Again, we're in Tennessee.
Yep.
But we can travel a little and figure out where we need to be.
Yep. We'll travel for room and board.
Yes, for room and board.
Okay. Well, we'll be back. You guys will see us again. You're going to hear a lot more about it as we get closer to. But we just wanted to like go live and say woo. So that's what we're doing today. Love everyone that hung out with us, and for all those that'll check it out later, thanks for being here. We're just so excited. Go to collaborativestorybooks.com. Type in your email. You will get updates from us on when this is going live and published. But you also get a free coloring page to try your hand at coloring the front cover, which is really fun too.
Which you can color tag us. Let us know that you colored it.
If you do, absolutely tag us because we want to see. We want to see the skills. We'll probably share it, all the things. But yeah, hanging out with Madeline from Madeline Illustrated. Find her on all the socials as Madeline Illustrated. I'm Chris, TTRPG Swag on the socials. Also, we're working on building out the collaborative storybook ones. That'll happen eventually. But find us any of the places. Come hang out. And as we get into this, share with all your friends who want a storybook like this.
Yeah.
But we hope that all of you are well. Have a wonderful whatever, night, day, weekend, what have you. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Friday, whatever it is.
Whatever.
Bye.